friends, is not peace out, it's peace in. It's the poetic peacemaker and the modern-day minstrel, Eric Star Eagle here, folks. I believe this is our 7th event for Halcyon Imagineers. We've raised funds for the Cythera House back in January 2014 with our original Diamonds in the Sun extravaganza that was held at Salvation Army Caring Place, for which we had some success raising funds for a wonderful, truly awesome charity that aids abused women and children. Now, I'm not going to go on too much about that myself, not being an expert, but I do know that there is a need for that in society, because it's truly tragic when anybody suffers any kind of abuse, whether it's verbal abuse, whether it's physical abuse, whether it's mental and psychological or emotional abuse, or apparently there's also financial abuse as well. Truly a sad thing. So we're taking a look at raising funds for the Cythera House again, my friends. They were truly a great charity to work with. And Nicole Chambers, Teresa Green, awesome and amazing ladies. It's tremendous to work with these folks. And they do a tremendous job in the Maple Ridge community and in our society, helping out those women and children that have suffered terrible trauma and terrible abuse. I believe this is our 7th event now. We've had many such events. The Salvation Army Caring Place, Noble Hearts as well. We did a couple of our Peace, Love, and Equality events, near and dear to my heart, that's for sure. World Peace events in regards to Masquerade 1 and 2. And Moonlight Marquee and Golden Key, which were Golden Key Time, Light, and Harmony, which were the Friends in Need Food Bank. Well, like I said, we've decided to raise funds once more for the Cythera House. Probably one of my favorite charities. You know, like I said, there's definitely a need for it when women and children are suffering from terrible trauma and abuse. On to the festivities. This is going to be happening, folks, on Sunday, December the 6th at the Jolly Coachman. The Diamonds in the Sun 2, the Eagles have landed. We're going to be starting off with an introduction by Mr. John Chambers. 5-minute introduction. It's just the in and out of what tactically they do in the Maple Ridge community to address this need. We're going to be featuring such stellar and great performers as, well, he's got many names. The dashing one, Dashing Bob Cockcroft. So many different styles this guy has. Blues and jazz and bossa nova, plays some Spanish guitar. Very eclectic individual. Actually, he's going to be performing twice on the show. We also have, I had a bit of a lisp there. We also have young, that's what happens when you eat peanut butter, folks. We also have, yeah, that'll go in the blooper reel. We also have young Nathan performing. I don't actually know his last name, but I know that he's got some soft, sweet melodies for all the folks that come and listen. And we have the mind-bending, spellbinding poetry of Professor Gary Redmond. Yes, Redmond Formula. He's going to be mixing it up. Some great poetry that's just going to take you guys on an amazing wild ride. We have Holly Crouchy on the show. I believe she's going to be playing a banjo or ukulele, excuse me. And you know, Holly has a most unexpected sense of humor. Actually, she's got a good sense of humor and good sense of comedy, actually, to some of her stuff. You know, it's always a treat to watch young Holly. We're going to be having the rampaging, raging rapper, the wild rapper, Dr. Brainstorm Joe Warden. And he's got a very narrative style of rap. It's very old school, actually, too. Very visceral, very guttural, you know, just it's got a lot of bite, got a lot of snap, and a lot of punch to it. We also have Shannon Matter on the show, and a lady that I'm dubbing the Alternative Energy. She brings a lot of energy to the stage, and has a lot of songs about social justice, so I personally like that as well. Songs about the environment, songs about world peace, something you know, hopefully a lot of people will appreciate. We have a good friend of mine, young friend, Taylor Wilcox will be part of the show as well. Does a lot of things in the area of grunge music, actually, and some rock and roll. And Taylor's got a great singing voice, and I think a lot of people are going to enjoy Taylor's acts. We have the Great Atlas featured on the show, Cole and Joey. Again, I actually don't know their last names, but I know that they're up-and-coming rising stars, up-and-coming young talent. And, you know, I predict, you know, I personally predict anyway, without, you know, being Nostradamus or something like that, I personally predict these young fellows are really going to take the music industry by storm. and they're just going to absolutely rock the stage. Hopefully we'll be having Esther Gadd on the show. She has some very haunting vocals, tremendous singing voice. You know, just one of the greatest female singing, female singing vocals that I've heard in a long time from our young talents. So Esther's always a pleasure to hear. Dashing Bob Cockcroft will be stopping by for another set. We will be having Chanel Mack, and as always, Chanel is a true treat and a pleasure to work with, and a true pleasure to watch as well. Just very soulful singer, very soulful singer, and very amazing vocals. And yes, the Shades of Grain. What can I say? I've worked with these guys a couple times on Moonlight Marquee, and we also, for the Friends of Need Food Bank, we also worked with them, I believe. Well, for the food bank again, actually, in Golden Key, Time, Light, and Harmony. These people always get folks up out of their chairs. They always get them clapping, stomping their feet, dancing, and they just really fun, really cheerful, really delightful, and really festive style of music. They're quite eclectic as well, actually. Irish Celtic music, they play some classic rock. You know, there's no end of entertainment from these guys. I also forgot to mention, we actually have Maverick Marcel Gamache on the show, and where is the love? Well, at the end of the day, as Marcel says, well, at the end of the day, it's all about love. And he will be bringing the peace and love. He will be bringing the bliss and the joy, and he will be bringing the serenity, as Marcel always does best. Gary Edmond, what can I say? He's going to be busting through the wall like the Kool-Aid Man. And like I said, he'll be taking us all to the Twilight Zone with his mind-bending poetry. And he also does some interesting music, you know. Sometimes there's a bit of a southern style to it. I believe Dan, who's working the camera right now, calls it antebellum. Is that right, Dan? I think it's antebellum, isn't it? Yeah, he could say it. He nodded his head there for you folks. Yeah, he plays some blues, actually, very bluesy music. I believe he does some rock and roll, and probably a more classical style, actually, too. And if I'm not incorrect, I believe he also does some jazz, too. But yeah, Gary, amazing guy to work with. My number 2 guy in Halcyon Imagineers. Always a treat to work with him. Brad Ward, hopefully he'll be stopping by, doing some rock and roll music. And Brad's a very cool guy. You know, he brings the Fonzie cool to the stage. Oh, what can I say? Arac Star Eagle, the Modern Day Minstrel. What a peacemaker. It's not peace in, it's not peace out, it's peace in. If you've seen my act, you know that I definitely have a tempestuous style. And unlike Joe, I think my stuff, I classify it more as probably a little bit more hip-hop than rap, but there's rap elements and spoken word elements in it as well. I do sort of a cross gimmick, as you can see, a bit of a Christian hippie meets a modern day superhero and everything. You know, I personally believe people will be entertained. I may be purchasing a lightsaber, actually, that's right, from a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, and hopefully I'll be bringing by a dance troupe if I can actually get this going on. I'd like to get a dance troupe coming out for my act as well. And a lot of songs about world peace, about the environment, about my faith, and just, you know, spreading love and spreading the kindness, caring, and compassion, you know, and mixing it up. Like I said, bit of hip-hop, bit of rap. Rockin' Rick Moyer, yes. Oh man, what can I say about Rockin' Rick Moyer? There's no end of things to say about him. He of the sparkle-toothed grin. One of the most charismatic men that I've ever had the pleasure of watching and being entertained by, and also working with as well. Does some classic rock and roll. It sounds a lot like Elvis Presley, actually. He's got a very rich voice, and a lot of people, wow, it's cold out here. A lot of people really enjoy his stuff. Again, like the Shades of Grain, he gets people out of their chairs, just swooped up out of their chairs, and on the dance floor, and puts a smile on everybody's face, gets ladies swooning, and man, it's just a lot of energy, this fellow. He's very charismatic. Peter Tam from the Green Party. We had a recent election. Peter Tam will be coming by. Not too sure what is on his agenda. He does some Billy Joel. He does some Billy Joel. Louis Armstrong apparently does, Wonderful World. Man, I think he even did a Kermit the Frog song. I don't know if Kermit the Frog started this one, but It's Not Easy Being Green or something. I think he even did that. He plays the keyboard. Just very excellent, and sophisticated, sleek, cutting-edge performances by Peter Tam. Yeah, I think a lot of folks will truly enjoy seeing Peter Tam doing some music, and it's too bad we didn't do this around the election, but times were such. I was working for the NDP myself, which brings me to this. Hopefully we'll have Mr. Bob Deeth on the show, the brave and the bold Bob Deeth. He is the man with the plan, and he was our candidate for the NDP in this last election for the Maple Ridge Pitt Meadows riding. And Bob's a terrific gentleman and a man of great principles and conviction, as is Peter Tam, as were all the candidates actually. And if it's not Bob Deeth, he has told me that his son Sheldon and their band will be coming by to entertain us all. And I think that truly Bob Deeth will rock the stage, and again, another fellow that will be bringing the peace, will be bringing the bliss and the serenity. Yeah, there's no end of good things that Bob Deeth will bring to the stage. Anita Jacobson, terrific performer. She reminds me a lot of Stevie Nicks, actually, and that is a compliment to you, Anita. Tremendous singing voice and great guitaring talents as well. So we've never had her be part of the show, but it is my honor and esteem and a privilege to have Anita be part of the show. Yeah, yes. And now it is time, folks. W is for wild. W is for wonderful. For the one and only Wendy Levan. Oh yes, the Scarlet Songstress. She that's also known as Wendy Biscuit. Very eclectic. I think that she does music almost in pretty much every style that I know of. I don't think she does any punk rock or something, but I think she's done some country. I believe she's done some blues and jazz and some rock, some folk music. Very, very versatile, very eclectic. I know I'm using that word a lot, but Wendy Levan is, I suppose, our main event for the evening, and very much like Rick, she's very charismatic and she's very energetic, and I'm really, really happy to have Wendy be part of our show. So there's really not a whole lot left to say. Again, I remind you folks, before my hands get too cold here, damn you winter. But yes, Jack Frost, I don't like you. But it's Sunday, December the 6th, and that will be at the Jolly Coachman. Diamonds in the Sun 2. The Eagles have landed. It's a free concert, by the way. It's a free benefit concert. We'll be having our posters up soon. And you can get some more information at the Halcyon Imagineers Facebook. And of course, this will be on our YouTube channel. We'll have posters all around town. You can find out more information in the Maple Ridge and Pitt Meadows News and the Maple Ridge and Pitt Meadows Times. We'll be gathering more information for you folks there. I neglected to say the times for this, lest I forget. That will be 5 o'clock p.m. to 11 p.m. So I guess we're talking one of our epic 6-hour events, Blockbusters Extravaganza. That's right. Over 20 performers, and it's just going to be an all exciting show. We're going to have a DJ there too, DJ Mike Tootsie. And it's something a little bit new that we're doing, but I like going to the clubs. I like going to Roosters and whatnot. And, so with the club life, I thought, let's get a DJ going. So between acts, DJ's going to be playing some songs. Oh, I'm not getting a cold here. But it really is freezing. I'm not kidding you. You can't tell on camera. But it's brutal. But in any event, yes, like I said, it's I love summer. But it's 5 to 11 p.m., folks. And like I said, free. But and it's not mandatory donation. You don't have to donate if you don't want to. But we are encouraging people just out of the goodness of their heart, if they're able to. I know people are a charity as well. I realize that. But if people are able to, just even if it's a few coins or something like that, just. If you can help us out, help help us out, Halcyon Imagineers, because it isn't for us. It is for the Cythera House, aiding the abused women and children. If you can help them out, just any way that you can help them out. You know, it's voluntary. It ain't mandatory. So no one fear that they have to give a donation. It is purely 100% voluntary, and I'm going to get further details, but I believe over a certain amount that it is tax deductible. So I believe that's everything I said. There's also an $8 roast beef dinner. That's part of what they normally do on Sundays at the Jolly Coachman as well. You know, if people want to enjoy some nice succulent roast beef, they can do that as well. But we welcome vegetarians too. Nah, just kidding. We don't. No, really, we do. Anyway, I'm a silly man, but bad Star Eagle. But anyway, it really is cold. And now I'm going to go inside and I'm going to enjoy some Starbucks because it's nice and warm and cheery in there. There's not much more to say other than, you know I'm going to say it. Wait a minute. The Eagle has landed! Haha! My Raptors. Welcome to the area. So cold.
Where's everybody?
Here we go.
Noble hearts, heroes.
Oh yeah.
Heroes that define my compassion inside. Non-restrictive arms, the seems to right. Arms need a badge on their chest. Makes the heroes blessed. With actions they can ease, they save the ones in need. They care for the second sick, they was just the veiled tricks. Heroes careful with the young, that's following the sun. Noble hearts, heroes.
Check it out.
Ranks on the shoulders of giants.
But noble hearts will make us triumphant.
Heroes strive to what's right and what's fair.
All stand up for love and show care.
Noble hearts for the measure of the souls. Serve and defend the highest goals. Reach down or risen from the dust. Provide help and care when they must.
That's right.
Heals test the sick and unwell.
That's right.
Soldiers storm the gates of war's now.
That's right.
House protected, solve from crime's gain.
Yeah.
Firemen rescue trap kids from the flames. Carrying hope will nourish those poor. Carrying places will open their doors.
That's right.
To all those sleeping on the streets, the cool and hungry get more than they need. Rescue animals and harsh cruelty.
Stand up
for the right to be free. Stem the tide of crushing poverty. Like a horse of plague and disease. Preserve the water, the air, and the trees. Tear down the walls of drug use. Save kids from ruthless abuse. Provide healing for those who've been raised. Provide souls for the souls you must save. Bring healing for all the green earth. Show love for the children we birth. Defend all rights and all crops. Bring comfort to those who feel lost. Noble hearts, heroes. Through the public minds and all of the hill inside, people strive to do what's right with all the strength and fight. For all the things in life that bring avarice and strife. Heroes way down because our heroes care. For lizards and darkness, these heroes never quit. Fighting evil and injustice and hateful prejudice. Noble hearts, heroes.
Hands on the shoulders of giants. But noble hearts will make us triumphant. Heroes strive to do what's right and what's fair. All stand up for love and show care.
Noble hearts of the measure of the souls.
That's right.
Defend the highest goals.
Break it down.
There isn't for the dust. Provide help and care when they must. We've all got a great hero inside us.
Take it.
Let the conscience be the moral compass.
Show up.
Noble hearts are there for us to heal.
That's right.
Defend and stand for all people. We're
Hands on the shoulders of giants. But noble hearts will make us triumphant. Heroes strive to do what's right and what's fair. Stand up for love and show care.
Noble hearts in the measure of the soul.
That's right.
The sun and the highest goal.
That's right.
Reach down and raise it from the dust.
Provide help
and care when they must. True heroes are defined by compassion inside. Not with strength of arms, they seek to right. Arms that aim the badge upon their chest. Makes the heroes blessed. Through actions in the deeds, they save the ones in need. Be careful the sad sick, they resist the fatal tricks. Heroes care for the young, that's love as a song. Noble hearts, heroes.
Hands on the shoulders of giants. noble hearts will make this triumphant. Heroes strive to do what's right and what's fair. We'll stand up for love and show care.
Noble hearts of the vigilant souls, determined to defend the highest goals. Breaks down, risen from the dust. Help and care when they must. Noble hearts, y'all.
Noble hearts, y'all, check it out. The Rock Star Eagle, Dr. Brainstorm.